Well, good evening. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. Basically, it was a case of I was offered a gig doing karaoke last night, so I did that instead. So I had a few quid. But anyway, so we're doing it on a Tuesday. Whether this will happen again, I don't know. But apparently, people like Tuesdays. I've had some good comments. So, but at the moment, we're still having it on a Monday. And then when I can't attend or whatever, we'll have it on a Tuesday instead. But anyways, we've got quite a few in tonight. We've got 6 in the panel. And I decided, because I went to Avon Model Show, and I'm hoping that James, Model Officer, comes in. Because I like to know your thoughts on the futures of model shows. Because I had a most fantastic time up at Avon Model Show on Sunday. There was some phenomenal model kits being on display there around. They were, and everyone just seems to be a lot more chatty now than before. I don't know whether it's because we're not so worried about COVID. At the show, I met up with Nigel from Nigel's Modelling Bench, and very knowledgeable man, cracking lad to speak to. Spoke to him. I saw Jonathan Mock, who's looking really well after his operation. He showed me the scar under his hat and crumbs. It's major operation he's had on his brain, and all of us here wish him well. And I've sent him my zine and some woven patches previously, wishing him well. But to me, scale model shows are back in action. And I was hoping that, as I said, that Model Officer would come on, because he's going to be doing Telford and asking what the costs are involved and how organising one of these things, to be there as a dealer. So that's really the plan tonight, is to go through model shows. That's my dream bike to invite. Sorry, I'm on the main road, aren't I? So if you hear motorbikes go by, so anyway. Anyway, good evening all. We've got Sully in, we've got John, we've got Alex, who I'm going to speak to as well, because he's going to have to do these model shows as well, I guess, being a model shop owner from now on. We've got Matt come back from being undercover. He's in tonight, which is great. And we've got James. How are you feeling, James? Are you all right, my friend?
Yeah, I just get tired. I've got light sensitivity, and my left leg doesn't work. But I'm getting my mojo back to build models.
Oh, brilliant! What are you building at the moment?
ICM Chevy.
Oh yeah.
Truck.
You liking it?
No.
Oh dear.
Too many parts.
Too many parts.
Plastic made of soap.
Really?
It looks lovely plastic, but it's soft.
But it doesn't make it easier to glue when it's so soft.
It does.
It does. Fair enough. Just in the comments, I've got Stephen Haynes Models. Great to see you as well, my friend. Thank you for coming up and saying hello to me. It was quite funny because I was wearing my red Airfix merch shirt that they sent me. And I was walking around some of the tables and people were assuming that I was from Airfix. And I didn't plan it, honestly. I woke up Sunday morning really tired, and I had a pile of washing, and I just grabbed the first red shirt, put it on. And when I got there, I realised I put it on inside out. When I put it on the right way around, I realised it's the Airfix one. That's good. Walking around, and I was so tempted when people were saying, "Oh, what are you bringing out next?" Oh, we're going to bring out a 124th F35B, things like that, just to wind them up a bit. But going back to scale model shows, just put it out there to those in the chat, those talking now. Is it your main? Do you go to scale model shows just to buy kits, or do you go to look at models, or do you go to meet other scale modelers? What's your take on scale modeling? I'll start with Alex on this one. What sort of reasons why you go to scale model shows?
It's a good question. I think it's changed over the years. So I think the first model shows I went to were about looking at what other people were doing and kind of getting inspiration, and maybe seeing some tips and tricks and stuff. And then I think it evolved into trying to find kits, trying to find some bargains. I even did a couple of competitions at one point,
Mm.
and now I think it's with the channel as well. It's more about the atmosphere, just going, meeting people that you know, chatting with the distributors and the people who have stands there. It's kind of the total package for me.
Yeah.
I'll still go and try and find, the odd thing I'm looking for, mainly tools and odd bits that I can't find elsewhere. But inevitably, I'll pick up far more kits than I intended to. So yeah, it's become a more rounded package, I feel now, and definitely the social side, I think, is I'll ask if people are going and look out for people and organise going with others as well, like Telford a couple of times before COVID. A few of us went down, got a hotel, had a curry and stuff the night before, made a weekend of it. So
fair enough. What about you then, Sully? What's your reasoning for going to scale model shows?
Oh, just going to see what everybody else has done, really. Yeah, and just see what happens. Basically, I've only been, to be fair, I've only been to a couple, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, let's just go and see what other people are doing, and maybe get some ideas, and maybe buy something if I've bothered to save some money for the event.
Yeah. As I said, I'm more with Alex here. I go for the tools and just have a little mooch around. It was really nice to see Airfix there, showing off their wares. They had the Sea King there, all on display, all built up. They had the sprues out for the Scout, and they had the Ranger Spitfires. They do. Was it the I think they had the 124th there, but they're like the 148 Mark 15, I think they had. But yeah, it was really nice because Luke was there, and he had driven down that morning. He left at, I think it was 4 o'clock in the morning. But to be fair, the one area that was always busy was that Airfix, because it was right in between some of the halls. He was answering questions, and it's proactivity from Airfix is what I see. What about you then, Matt? What's your take on scale model shows? Do you go to many? I suppose you're going to North Devon Model Show when it happens next week.
Oh, I'll try to. Yeah, normally I don't get the chance to go because I'm so busy either with my family or with my job. So making time for model shows, it's having to sacrifice time somewhere else. So I either have to not spend time with my family or take time off, which isn't always possible. But when I do get the chance to go, so like I managed to hit the Froome model show on my way back to work, and I've managed to hit a few other bits and pieces at certain times. So it's something that I would like to do more of. I do enjoy them, but I also, I think, because it's not often talked about, is it, that mental health can be a big issue. So like anxiety, going to a big place where there's lots of people, that can be quite crippling at times. And I wouldn't necessarily say I suffer massively of anxiety, but I think that it can be a bit of a challenge to try and work yourself up to making a point to go. So I think sometimes it's good to go with a friend, so that you're not there on your own and you're not having to start awkward conversations and things, because I find that to be a bit of a barrier. But what I do really like about going to model shows is seeing all of the different levels of skill that are there. And I like to look at them and think to myself, what's that person done that I can do? And also, what's that person done that I can't do? And then can I take a lesson from that build and maybe put it onto one of mine, so you have a conversation with the person or find out how they did it. Additionally, I like seeing that it's all skill levels. It's not just people who have been doing it for 50 odd years. It's people who've only just started out and they've got something out there as well. But my main favorite thing is going to the bargain bins and pulling out vintage kits. I don't mind if they're a little bit part started or whatever, but like at the Froome show, I managed to get 2 frog kits for $5. So that's what I like doing. I love picking up vintage kits because there's no, like with new kits, newly tooled kits, there's this sort of feeling that you have to do them well. An old vintage kit to me it's just something that you can pick up and you just crack on because there's no like pretenses with it. It's already old, it's already dated. There's probably a newer version of it out there somewhere. So all you're doing is helping that old kit meet its destiny of being built and preventing it from either gathering dust or just being thrown away. So yeah, that's what I like about modeling shows.
Fair play.
I like that phrase, meeting its destiny.
Yeah, that's it.
That's good.
Oh yeah. That was just reminds me because when I went there, I had to do it. I picked up this Messerschmitt 1:100 scale because you've got me into them. I've got 2 of the Lightnings now.
Lightnings are good.
This one comes with two models in it. You get the 262A and the 163B. And you're right, Matt. Recessed panel lines on a 1968 tooling. You know, they had it sus before. You know, you're not going to get a lot in there, you know, because like, you know, the actual that's how small, you know, it's all
it's the size of a thimble.
You know, maybe they did it recess because if they tried to do it raised, it would be just so thick it would look weird. Wow. You know, which brings back to the thought of having recessed panel lines, recess rivets on the Sea King. It's all about looking at it to scale. Yeah, as I said, it was really good. I enjoyed it. Going through and buying the extra kits and stuff because that's one of the things you find there. All the tooling or the kits that you probably wouldn't see online, but you have some dealer there. It would only take cash, obviously, but they're selling old kits, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. What about you then, John? Being in America, how do you get on with scale model shows? Is there ones near you, or do you not really go to them anymore?
I don't really go to them anymore. You know, the country is just so big. There'll be maybe once or twice a year, there'll be a show that's, you know, maybe within a couple hours driving distance, right? I'm in the greater DC area. But even being here, there's really, they're not here in DC or really Maryland. They might be in Pennsylvania, which is the state above us, and they might be in Virginia. There's one in, I think, Richmond, Virginia. It's a state below us. Once a year, but I think the IPMS Nationals, I think it kind of moves around, or maybe it's in Vegas every year. But if it's in Vegas, you know, that's 2/3 of the way across the country. So I haven't been to a model show, and I can't tell you how long. But you know, Matt touched upon something. I can't imagine going alone. That would be, you know, you'd have to. For instance, if there was one that was in DC, I'd have to find somebody who would want to go and just look at models for a whole day or day and a half or something. And I'm not great with crowds. You know, so crowds make me they make me anxious as well. So I think a model environment might be pretty cool because everybody's pretty much of the same mindset. But I would be going pretty much to look at the models, just to admire. So I would be going for the art, and that would be it. Yep.
And you can spend hours looking at these models. You know, I spent nearly 10 minutes talking to one chap about the Tamiya Beetle. You know, that was. He's done such a great job on it, and he said out of all the Beetles he's built, that's the best one he's ever done. So it got me thinking, you know, when I next do a Beetle, I'm going to build a Tamiya one because he's done it so well, and he's somebody who's had the experience of building Beetles. So why would I not go and build a Tamiya one now I've seen it in good light, you know? What are you then, James? Do you often to Bodie go? Do you go to many model shows in your area?
No.
Don't like him? Don't want to go?
Well, I'm like John. I get very stressed if I go. I'm very overwhelmed for being in sort of claustrophobic.
Yeah, I get that.
I much prefer watching people that go on there, put their videos up on YouTube.
I should have filmed Avon, but I just wanted a day away and just actually enjoy the event. When you're filming, you're constantly with camera looking at models and everything. But it's a bit likey. Just going to mute John a minute because we're getting a bit of feedback from John. But I'll ask John, do you go to many scale models?
Not so much now, no. I used to go a lot, especially IPMS meetings. I used to like talking to the modelers to see how things got done and how they did things. It was really interesting. It's a bit like you know, speaking to them, talking to people for 10 or 20 minutes. It was good.
Fair enough. I'm glad James is back on. I'm going to mute your mic a minute there, John, because you get a bit of feedback. But James, you're going to be doing Telford this year, aren't you? How are you managing that?
A lot of time and effort. It's my Telford journey has changed an awful lot from when I first went. You know, I used to go for a day. And then I got annoyed actually at the fact that I was driving home with a friend and he was telling me, did you see this and did you see that? And it's like, well, no, I didn't. So I ended up making it a weekend thing, which is great. But then it becomes much more of a social event as well. So you end up, you know, having meals with people and chatting about stuff and not worrying about the traffic and getting home and all that sort of thing. So that's cool. But yeah, you're right. This year, the Sprue Box has got a trading table there, and it's going to be a very, very different experience. So don't quite know what I've got myself into really, but yeah. So obviously we'll launch the Outlaw paints at Telford, and the main reason I chose Telford out of all of them was purely for footfall. You know, it's the UK's leading scale model show, the largest footfall. And wanted to get it out there that it was in the UK and we were supplying it, etc., and distributing it. And obviously that's sort of grown from an A table to 2 tables, and you know, various other bits and pieces that we'll be doing. So it's not cheap. Telford is definitely not cheap. The smaller model shows are a lot more affordable for the traders. Definitely so. Which I'm going to be doing some next year as well in other places, but that's to be arranged yet. So yeah, Telford is for me personally. When I go as a normal punter, it's the one place I can go for A, inspiration, B, find that kit that you don't normally find, and my local hobby shop is not great. It has a range, but it's not a great range. And I don't like looking online, which is bizarre considering I've got an online business, but there you go. So yeah, it's that's one of they are the reasons I go. And then obviously to chat with people and bits and pieces, as well as support Models for Heroes that always got a table there. So
will you be in the vicinity of Models for Heroes? Will you be like next to them, or will you be somewhere else?
I can't confirm 100% where we'll be because that hasn't been sorted yet as such. However, I am over 50% certain that I will be very close, if not next to Models for Heroes. So we'll be in the vicinity anyway, because obviously this year we're lucky enough to have a full military range that we're going to be raffling off for Models for Heroes for the Outlaw paints. And no moss you can't enter.
Why not?
Give everyone else a try.
I've already got.
So I've requested it purely for that reason. Whether that'll be the right choice of a spot in the halls, I don't know. But hopefully it'll give us an offer, because Models for Heroes likes to be in a quiet area of such. Because it's good for the beneficiaries and what they do. So I'm hoping that we won't, if we are near or next to them, that we won't disturb that as well. But obviously I'd love to be really busy and see everybody. How much time I'm going to get to actually speak to people, I don't know. And how much time I'm going to get to walk around and actually enjoy the event. I don't know, but I'm sure I'll get some time away. I'll at least get up to the competition tables at some point, which is always good fun. But yeah, the model shows are. I think you're right to a degree with COVID and the fact that we've not been able to get out and mill around with each other. There is a little bit more of that social side. But I think also a lot of people have made a lot of efforts in relation to the social side of it. So, you've got online groups that are popping up with their own tables and making it more sociable for their online content, as well as obviously the STIGs and all that sort of stuff, special interest groups that are there. And that's one of the other good things as well, is obviously you can walk up and down the middle of the halls, looking at other people's work, have a chat with them if there's something that stands out to you, and if they're there and not milling around themselves, they're more than happy to model. And even to a degree up in the competition area, if you have questions about doing a competition or entering a competition, or you've entered something and you didn't do very well and you're not sure why, and everybody's relatively friendly to be able to communicate that sort of stuff. So that's why I love Telford so much. It is a very good community event.
Fair play. Just going back through the comments, somebody just mentioned Bendito says both exhibits in public, great show, good setting. He's talking about the Tank Model Show, Southwest Model Show, which is in a month's time. Is it September time? That is, I think.
Is that above?
And I go every year. I love it there. I believe Airfix are coming down for that week Sunday as well. I think Saturday and Sunday. And also, if you do pay to go now, it covers you for the next one. They do. I think they have 2 a year, and that's really, really good. Just going back through, Tank Museum is a great show. Zidane, I've never been to a model show and would go there if it was sometime soon. Brilliant. Yeah, that's it. Jeff was asking, has anyone ever gone to the model show? I was definitely worth a day out. It's cracking. Absolutely brilliant fun it is. Again, evening. I love going to shows. Be able to talk to people is always great. But since started an SIG, Specialist Interest Group, it's great to talk about the history of the models on display and seeing people and learn from it. Exactly. Ivan says, me and the missus go to the one in the Links area, make a day of it, thoroughly enjoy it. That's fantastic. Any others here? If you can get early to an event, you can miss the crowd and step away when it gets a little too much. Yeah, tell me about it. But yeah, I went to the model show this week, enjoyed it. As I met up with loads of people. People come to say hello to me. I finally was able to get some of the VMS Flexi 5K CA in black. £8.50, mind. I chunnered at that a bit, but I don't think they make it anymore. I don't think they make that anymore. But I also got the for a little track, just for the little crack, my first diorama Sherman Firefly. Just to try it. That was only a tenner as well, $9.99. So I got got a couple of models, got some bit. I finally got myself a modeling cleaning brush from Tamiya. That was 18 quid. So
worth every penny, that is, Moz.
Pardon?
That's worth every penny.
Yeah, that's why I've got one.
Is that the anti-static brush? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, this one here.
Oh, yeah.
So I bought myself one of them. And finally, I got myself to try some of this Ammo Ultra Glue, which apparently is as good as CA glue, but it's a PVA-based one. So it's very good. It doesn't fog up your glass. So, and that's the reason why I went. I went to buy some tools, bought a couple of models, and had a really good time watching and seeing people play war games. There's some people modeling, and that's what I was. Not a lot of modeling goes on at these shows like there used to be. I remember going, and you'd always see somebody painting or doing. You don't see that much these days, do you?
No.
Anyone take on that? Is that like an agreement? You don't see it so often.
You sometimes do at the club benches, club tables. They often will be fiddling around with something, sometimes that they brought or something they've bought at the show. The other thing about Telford, just with people saying about anxiety and big crowds. I mean, Telford is a massive show, but it's a big area. But the other thing I like about Telford being over the weekend and making a weekend of it is that it takes some of the pressure off. So sometimes a one-day show, you don't actually have that much time, to get around and do everything that you want to do. Whereas Telford, yes, it's a much bigger show, but over 2 days, if you make a weekend of it, it does make it a bit more relaxed. So, if you do feel that it's getting too much or you don't have, somebody with you, you can step away from it. And, you're right in the town centre, more or less. So you can kind of go and walk and, go to a park or something. So that's quite a nice aspect of Telford, I think, is that it isn't as kind of intense as a one-day show.
Yeah. David Coombs says, I see more demonstration stands at model railway shows than scale model shows. But there's a reason behind that, though, because you, excuse me, Mod Officer, you were saying that you couldn't actually demonstrate outlaw paints. There was rules against it. Is that right at Telford?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, as soon as you start spraying something into the atmosphere, then health and safety people with their clipboards and their high vises get very, very nervous. And with any show, obviously the venue have their rules, and then the show organisers have their rules, all that sort of other. So we did actually start off with thinking that maybe we'll demonstrate outlaw paints, and we thought about a responsible way in which to do it, which means that all the air would go through effectively a bucket of water. So it shouldn't have any fumes really, but they were very, I wouldn't say cagey, but there was a lot of toing and throwing about it, and in the end I just thought, well, probably not a good idea. And then obviously as a stall or a trader, you have to have your own insurance as well, so liability insurance. So, and I wouldn't want to ruin anyone's show just because I want to show off a paint. So we'll find another way around it as such. But like everything, Moss, it's like when you start talking about display tables, you start thinking about electric. Do you need electric? Can you get away without electric? There's a cost involved, obviously, if you want electric. Or you've got to be a genius and figure out a series of batteries underneath your table that can do what you want them to do. But then the organisers probably would get a little bit nervous about a bunch of batteries under your table, and all that sort of thing. So there's an awful lot in which you have to consider when putting something on. So don't get me wrong, I'd love to have disco lights and the glitter ball and all that.
I can supply them. I can supply you a PA as well.
Yeah, and turn up in my white suit and all that and the other. But it's you just got to be careful with it. And I think I spent probably near on a month trying to figure out how I was going to lay everything out, and could I do it in a certain way which would be more beneficial and and in the end I've just opted for just a straight easy setup, purely because it's the first one I've done. I'm not sure how it will work, and we've got a lot going on. So so I mean, on the other side of the coin, of course, we're talking about with Outlaw, obviously we're talking about an airbrush, but we will have demonstrations, but with Two Thin Coats, who are also with us. So they'll be demonstrating because there is no fumes in that. It's a brush paint. So
just got to say, I've got access to a stage trailer which comes with its own roof. We could put an Outlaw paint stage trailer outside, right in the air, and do demonstration spraying outside Telford on the Sunday.
Yeah, but that would be another pitch cost, and hope it wouldn't rain and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but I could bring it up. It's an old it's an old caravan that's had everything taken off and the board and the trailer just left. and it's got like, I could hire that for you. Put the speakers up, and then we could do some demonstration at the car park. That could be an answer. Put it through it. I'll have a go at that. I can't do it. I'm only coming up for a couple of hours on the Saturday, and I'm back up. So I've got a gig that night. Then I'll be back up on the Sunday all day. That's what I'm doing for Telford.
We've got a large enough area to do what we need to do.
Brilliant.
And like I say, we'll learn from this first one, and we'll either never do it again, or we'll figure a way in which we can do it better. One or the other.
I think you'll do a tour. I think you'll go around a few scale model shows and do it. Because
in theory, in fairness, in theory, 2024, Jason's coming over with the team, so that'll be a little bit easier for me because I can leave him to it.
I think in 2025, Jason should invite all of the Airfix and crew lot out to Australia and do a tour of his new factory where he makes the paint. That'd be good. Yeah. This is a special little airplane that he'll put on for us. Yeah.
Yeah. And on the way back, we could bring some paint back with us. It'll cost a fortune then, does it?
I've seen Nunu's in. Hiya, mate. What's your take on scale model shows? Do you go to many, or is it something that you miss out on? You're muted, by the way, mate.
There you go.
There you go.
Good evening. Yeah, not. I don't go to many nowadays. I go to my local one here in Suffolk with the IPMS Suffolk. Although I lost IPMS West Norfolk, I lost the Ely one fairly close to me, all in 30 minutes range. But I'm not much of a model. If I have more people going with me, I'll go. But on my own, I'm not very, very keen to go. So I'm looking forward to Telford this year, knowing that James is there, you guys are going. So I'm much more looking forward to Telford this year for sure. But still in the air, still haven't fully committed to it. But I'm aiming for, definitely.
Yeah, I'll if there's a scale model show in between us, mate, let me know. I'll drive up on a Sunday and go to a model show with you. Definitely, I enjoy going to model shows. So if there's a place near, halfway between us somewhere or close to me, within a 2-3 hour drive, I'll definitely come up to that for the crack. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a great place to meet other people, isn't it? As well with scale modeling, there's always a new technique, or there's always a new tool. That I end up buying and never using, but that's basically scale modeling, isn't it? So
tell me about it. Yeah. It's always buying what you don't need.
Exactly. On that note, then, Sully, do you want to talk about your scale model show that you've been pushing on your channel recently?
I can do that. I've got a nice little flyer.
There you go.
Can we see that? I'm looking at the wrong screen. I've got two screens. I'm looking at the wrong one. Right. So yeah, it's the Blue Lamp Expo. So about 6 weeks' time. So September 17th. Talio Centre at Birmingham. I've got there you go. If you need the postcode and all that.
Yeah.
There you go. Is that better? Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
So yeah. It's in Birmingham. Well, it's just details there, but it's really good. It's a good show. They did one 2 years ago. The last one was cancelled because of our dear Queen passing. So this year will be their second one. But as you can see, all the proceeds are split between Models for Heroes and the West Midlands Police Benevolent Fund as well. So.
Yeah.
All for a good cause, and it's £4 an adult, so it's not too bad. That's pretty good, actually.
Me and Nigel were talking to 3 of the chaps there, and they asked us to share this on our channel if we could.
Yeah. They're a great bunch. I know one in particular, and because when I went the first time, I had at least I think 3 of them come up to me and says, "Oh, I know who you are, but you don't know who I am." I was like, "Well, that's not creepy in the slightest." But no, to be fair, though, they're a great bunch of lads. Dave, in particular, I know well. We've done some model-related stuff at my work, and he did 2 fantastic HK 48 scale Lancasters.
He had them there on show, I think.
Yeah, I actually did some of the work for that. I did some of the vehicles for that, and a mate at work scratch built. I think it was about 30 odd figures. That's actually found a new home at Boscombe Downs Museum. So if anyone goes and sees that, I did the vehicles for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dave's a great bloke, and he got us in. I'll be displaying there again this year. At present, I don't know if it will change or not, but I'm the only person that's not actually part of the club. So I'm there as myself as Sully Scale Models.
Really? You're not part of it? You're not a member of any club? Then?
No, it's one of those things that's never really interested me in a way. Mainly because I kind of thinking, well, if I could go, I want to do some work, and I know I won't get anything done because I talk too much. So, and there's not one. Well, hopefully there's going to be one closer to me soon, so I might pop down to that one a couple of times, maybe. Cause it's be 10 minutes down the road. But yeah. So I've just never bothered, but I'll be displaying as myself. A lot of places don't like that for some reason. They'd rather be part of a club, which I suppose I kind of get, because I tried to get in at the Telford one, the Telford IPMS, and I was quite happy to pay for a slot, but they weren't having it. So
fair play. Fair play.
So I think they had it before, and I think there was a lot of dicking around with it, and some of the people displaying. So. Yeah, makes sense. Whatever makes it easy for them. I mean, it's
right. So September 17th, and it's called what's it called? The Blue Lamp.
Blue Lamp Expo, because they're all ex-Rozzers.
Are they?
The fuzz.
So is this sponsored by my speeding ticket and stuff like that? Yeah. Every time.
Maybe that and a few drug charges, probably.
Yeah, I'll just write that down in my diary. B5 7RN on the 17th, and if I can, I will go up to that model show.
Anybody that knows me or whatever, just please come and say hello. It'd be nice to catch up with people.
Yeah,
it's also really weird when people recognise you, because I'm still not used to it, and all of a sudden, because I'm a very sociable person. And all of a sudden I get very socially awkward because I don't know what to say.
Do you know the worst thing is that I talk to people, and because they say their name so quick, and I'm trying to register their name. And we talk for 10 minutes, I forget their name, and then they come on the chat here and they go, "Oh, Moz, I saw you. It's great to meet you." And I'm like, "Yeah, which one were you?"
Yes,
It's really hard.
I've had that a couple of times. Even at work, actually, I spoke to you last time. What did we talk about? That might narrow it down a little bit, but I ain't going to Scooby-Doo half the time. Mind you, that's you saying that on a bit of a side rant, forgetting people's names. I've been speaking to people recently that I know extremely well, and for about 20 minutes can't remember their name.
Do you know, it's bizarre, isn't it? It's like me and Nigel were actually talking about this on Sunday. The worst thing YouTube have done is change usernames. Because sometimes I get confused because now they come up with a random name and some numbers, and then so they've lost their channel name and their and it comes up as like a name and number, and you kind of forget who you're talking to.
Yeah.
But yeah, people come and say hello to me. If I forget you, do always nudge me and tell me what we talked about at least, then I can get a pattern of who I've spoken to. Yeah. Because it said the next one I'm going to is there's the Tank Museum one I'm going to, and there's another one. I think it's Froome. When you're in the you go into like a sports center, but you're actually you're walking into a bouncy castle because
it's pressurized.
It's pressurized with that. Is that the one you went to, Matt? But I've already gone home.
Lexi went to that one.
Miss Mondler went to that one. There.
I think it was over 2 days. She went on one. You went to follow.
Oh, was that what it was?
Maybe.
Was it?
Maybe.
Yeah, I remember Matt. You went to that one, didn't you? And then we missed each other because you
Yeah.
came later on.
I had to go in the evening, so it was on my way to work.
Yeah, fair enough. But we can always go back to that one. I said there's 2 on me. Well, I've got 3 now. I'm going to go to. I'm definitely going to go to that one because they said please come up, so I will. But hang on. So I got it's a. Here you go. It's a good question. First of all, I get it, sir. I noted very quickly how many people were involved in the hobby. It really isn't fringe, or as fringe as some folk might have one to believe. Well, what is scale modelling? You know, it's like when you go to the one on which I went to on Sunday, they had wargaming going on there, and they had tables up where people were actually wargaming. And I remember being to some model shows where they have Lego cars and stuff like that. Ooh, Lego, you know. So, you know, it's you know, there's a lot going on there. As I said, you know, for me, it's about the dealers as well to go out and have a look at what they're selling. And also, you know, I go for the is there any Humbro for sale at these events? You know, it's a great game. Go to a scale model show and try and find any Humbro product that's for sale. Saying that though, I did pick up some Humbro enamel thinners because I actually think that's a pretty good thinner for when you weathering and you want to remove some enamel weathering bits. I think that's a pretty good enamel. It doesn't smell, I don't think, if I remember rightly. That's mine was so old that it lost its smell. But no, I don't smell too bad, to be honest, compared to some enamel thinners that I've used. So yeah, so everyone, that's the one we've been asked to promote on the channel. So if you are available near Birmingham and you'd like to go, I'm going to try and make it there. Sully will be there. Any of you guys fancy going? John Alec, you'll come over for that one, won't you, mate?
I will.
I know why there was hesitation, because it's Birmingham.
Yeah, I hear
that's why I moved.
It's the
I have heard the story
birthplace of heavy metal, man. That's West Brom.
It's the Black Country.
It's the backwards country.
I have heard that seagulls fly upside down because there's nothing worth shitting on.
It's
We can have some cider. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
You're talking about the sorry, Moss. You talking about the awkwardness of meeting people at model shows. I was at a wedding yesterday and had the first experience of, oh, hi, how are you? And I'm like, yeah, hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I don't know who I'm talking to. Yeah, I recognise you by your voice.
Oh, I've had that one.
And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, oh, because obviously I did a podcast with Malcolm. So I listen to you all the time. And I'm like, oh, okay. But still don't know who you are. So,
I'm going to close my channel. I'm going to actually close my YouTube channel down because I finally got a mention on your podcast 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you can't get any higher than that, I'm afraid.
I got a mention. Malcolm said, oh, I met Moz at the Tank Museum and he's an excitable guy, but he was excited about Outlaw Paint. I thought, I've made it. I've made it on their podcast. Just a mention, just a fleeting. Then you explained about how you filmed me when I first used it, and I was swearing a lot. I still want to hear that and see that, you know.
Yeah, I still haven't downloaded it.
You have to download it. Yeah.
It's on the
so,
list.
guys, yeah. Any questions in the chat about scale model shows? Anything? Any comments about scale models? Just put it in the chat, and we'll put them up on the screen. But nobody seems to be talking. Oh, they're just talking amongst each other. That's good. I love it when you guys talk amongst each other. Oh yeah, Nigel Model Bench says I was stopped in Tesco a couple of weeks back by one of my subs. Fame.
I had a photo of one of mine. That was also weird.
Yeah.
That was with as Nigel bought his Tresemme hairspray.
I tell you what, here's one then. Where's the weird? I say the weirdest, but oddest place that you got recognised, or someone you like wouldn't completely expect to be recognised.
I don't think I've actually been recognised yet.
Haven't you?
No,
that's surprising.
No, he's always undercover, isn't he?
Well, there are videos with my face in it. I don't think people maybe just not recognisable. Quite a generic look.
I think the weirdest place for me was in the lineup. Wasn't expecting that.
Bloody hell.
Is that where you had to sing Backstreet Boys?
Yeah, something like that.
On it that way. That's the best thing ever. That is. I remember watching that on Brooklyn Night. Was it Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
They're all in the lineup, but they're singing the Backstreet Boys. It was him. Damn.
I got recognised in Rhodes in Greece.
Really?
Yeah, funny enough though, it was actually by one of the guys that are part of the Blue Lamp lot. Because he said exactly the same thing there as well. I know you don't know who I am, but I know who you are.
I walk around these model shows. As I said, it was funny on Sunday because I woke up early in the morning and there was some shirts that had been ironed for me, and I just picked up a t-shirt, put it on, went to the show, got out the car, realised that the flap was hitting the back of my neck, and I realised then it was inside out. So I turned it right way around. It was the Airfix one. I thought, of course, you wash that quick. Gets in the show, so I started walking around with my Airfix logo there. People are eyeing me up, thinking, "I bet he works for Airfix," and I was that tempted to say, "We're bringing up a 132 Jaguar."
Wow. You could make so much carnage.
I could have done. I could have gone around and said, "Don't buy that Sea King, it's shit." Because apparently we have some of us who have done reviews have been classed as a bit of fanboys.
Oh, yes.
The Sea King. We were treating the Sea King like the second coming of Jesus, and to be honest with you, the reason we're excited about it is that it is actually a good kit.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a bloody good kit.
The thing is, I find is that some people will try and draw the dots between different social media posts you make. Every social media post I make is discrete in its own right. This is a picture of this model. This is a picture of something I've been sent. This is what I'm doing at the moment. They're just things that are happening at that time. There's no rhythm or rhyme to them. There's no hidden meanings. But some people will go, well, you've just posted an image of some Airfix stuff saying it's amazing, but you've just then posted something about Revel being really bad. Obviously there's no conspiracy. I'm just saying it how it is at the time.
Yeah.
There's no big link. I'm not paid off.
Yeah. And like if Nigel says it's an awesome kit, it's an awesome kit. Simple as, isn't it? But as I said, we've been talking about it constantly. We've been watching videos. Airfix gets slated for everything. And it's really sad. It really is. And we, as soon as you like, I am an Airfix fanboy. I admit it. I like Airfix, and I'm not going to deny that fact.
We also want them to do well.
We also want to do well.
Yeah.
We want all model manufacturers to do well.
There's comments about social media, and they're showing planes and doing different things. But that is how you reach the massive now. You put up a post of a Spitfire taking off and that sound, or putting up a picture of a cockpit. That's all part of the marketing now. There's history behind it. And yes, why do you think they put a picture up of certain cockpits? Because they want to know what we're asking for. And once they put a comment on a video saying that they're vanity projects, and I like, what is a vanity project? You can say the Gannet was a vanity project because I didn't expect myself to ever want to build a Gannet. To be fair, I didn't know much about the Gannet, but now I've seen the box art, or seen the renders of the built model. I want to build it. I want to build it, and that's all.
The Gannet is a big old beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the aircraft itself is massive. It should be a good, nice chunky kit. I just can't wait for it.
I mean, when they used to take them back to Park Royal just to overhaul them, they used to have to go under a railway bridge, and they literally had to tilt them at 45 degrees on the trailer to get them under this bridge.
Really?
Every time Airfix posts an internal shot of a plane, or like the outside of a plane or whatever, that's free research. That's free modeling references for you.
Yeah.
And people are complaining about something that they're getting for free. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
The social media from any modeling company is fantastic from Airfix. They engage. Come on. How many people have posted up Instagram posts and Airfix have shared them
Yes.
to their hundreds of thousands of followers to give the credit back to that scale modeler? You know, that's the way it works. You know, I think it's marvelous. You know, when I put up a video when I put up the picture of the Antarctic, they shared it for me, and I got lots of likes, and hopefully that will bring people to my channel. They are very, very what's it called? Appreciative of the community, and they're giving back. And I know they haven't built certain jets that people want, like the Tornado, but they've got a strict path they follow, and this is what they're doing. If they've just spent, I reckon, £100,000 in tooling to get the starter set range up to a fantastic standard. You cannot tell me that the recent 6 or 7 starter sets they've brought out, which 2 of them are now you can buy from Aldi and Lidl for £6.99 when they have them, hasn't raised the bar for a starter set, because it has. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Vanity project businesses don't tend to go in for them. It's rather too expensive. Gone are the days of dying. What's that? Sorry, you have to explain. Dilettantes, starting up companies to indulge their
dilettantes.
Yeah. Sorry, you're talking Cambridge here. I'm from Oxford. You know, or Devon. Sorry. Airfix social media is okay, much better than the rest, but some of their posts are a bit generic and some extent lazy. They're slipping back a bit, like what happened to Sprue Talk. I'll tell you what happened to Sprue Talk. We all know what happened to Sprue Talk. They've just released a Sea King out of the blue, and they spent the last 3 months organising everything to do with that. The filming. All right, I know people picked up that the wheel was missing on that on that Sea King, and yeah, whoever filmed it should have got a bitch slap. I understand that, but they've just spent the last 3 months putting all their efforts. And remember, they're still a small team, aren't they? Was it, so they put all their effort into making sure that Sea King release was absolutely spot on, and anybody here denies it, you can't deny it, that I think they pulled a blinder. The fact they've released the kit, and in 6 weeks that kit is going to be on your workbench if you want to build it.
Well, Nuno's got it on his workbench.
That's the 72, isn't
it? Alex.
No, I have a tiny one.
Yeah, Alex is. Yeah. How are you getting on with it, Alex? You enjoying it? We'll have to do sign language because he's on mute.
Just leave him. See how long he notices.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. Although mine was slightly short shot.
Yeah, I showed a picture of that to Nigel on Sunday. Again,
it is what it is.
Look at the draw.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world, and really, it was actually super easy to fix. So, it didn't actually alter my enjoyment of the kit. It kind of goes to what we were saying on last Wednesday, though, Moss, about QC in India.
Yeah.
But
podcast.
No, the kit goes together really well.
Yeah.
But QC is a thing that affects everyone. And at all the points, I can tell you one thing. I work for a large company, and they release a new product, and at the moment, we have reworked 4,000 and something of them, and still to expect another 8,000 that are coming on the water. So issues there will always going to be with new stuff. It's people to understand that we are dealing with human beings looking to sprue shots. In so many, there will be a few. Unfortunately, was Alex the misfortune. I didn't open my one again, just in case my one is short-shorted as well. But yeah, it is what it is. You're never gonna have it 100% accurate all the time. Never ever. There's no way. It's humanly impossible.
The only caveat to that, before I go on to that caveat, Stephen Haynes, one of thanks for becoming a YouTube channel member. Send me an email with your address, and I'll send you my latest zine and some stickers. The problem is that you don't see or you don't hear of these sort of short issues with the likes of the Korean companies like Tamiya, Trumpeter, Academy, and that kind of sours it a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to push any indirection here. I'm just saying that I've had many Academy kits and I've never had a short shot on an Academy kit.
But I don't know how much that's not just a how do I phrase this? Like sometimes there are some companies where if it feels like it's expected, then I'm not gonna say anything. You know what I mean? So maybe the fact that it's being said is more a statement of it's a surprise because it's not common, as opposed to a. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
No, the thing with that, and personally I believe is that is Airfix, less name and shame. They are rubbish. They always been rubbish. See, this proves my point. While with Tamiya, Tamiya is perfect. It's a garden of flowers that we can walk on. And when something like that comes up, everyone shuts up and suck it up because they are so perfect. And that doesn't work for me. I don't agree with that. Again,
Don't mention the Tamiya Sea Harrier.
There you go. It's one of the worst, if not the worst, Sea Harrier that you can have on the market.
And it's the only one as well, isn't it? There's no others at that scale, is it? 148. Am I right in saying that's one that people wish Airfix would tool because the Sea Harrier from Tamiya is dog shit? Is that not true?
Yeah, I think it is.
Kinetic one, but the kinetic one, forget the instructions. They're an absolute joke.
Yeah, you said that. I remember you saying
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
But again, because it's Tamiya, nobody complains.
Techman Good says the Sea King launch was a sprue talk. In fact, it was, wasn't it? Because after they did the reveal, it goes did. The excitement is building. Sprue talk. So yeah, it was a sprue talk. Very good. Yeah, I remember that. I'm just happy it's not another Spitfire 109, etc. The Sea King is a must now. I need a 148 Puma. And somebody actually wrote something quite interesting. Something about I feel that you need to be interested in the subject. Well, I don't know. Formula One cars don't do it for me, and I don't think I've built a Formula One car since the Hella ones back in the day when we had Ayrton Senna, Prost, and Nigel Mansell's 1/32 scale ones. I've done a couple of them back in the day. They don't appeal to me. But then again, as I said, the Gannet didn't appeal to me. But when I saw it as a model, I kind of wanted to have a go at it, so I can't wait.
Sometimes other people's excitement about a kit can be a little infectious.
Yeah.
Hence the Concorde.
Yeah.
No, there are models that you look at them as like, oh, I could build that. There are other models that you feel, I have to have that.
Yeah.
When Spitfire came out, I said to my wife, I have to have that. And my wife was like, you have to? Yes, I have to. But you have no space, it doesn't matter. I have to have that. It's just those kind of models that appeal to you.
Nigel's asking, Alex, which version are you doing?
The HAS one. The blue one.
A lot of people have said that.
I want to do blue one.
Yeah, because it'll go with your colour, wouldn't it?
It's my colour. That's the only reason they made it, they told me, because it matches my colour.
Exactly. David Coombs just finishing the Airfix Tomahawk starter set. Really good, great paints and decals, all for £6.99. I bought 3 and I've offered Matt one. If he wants one, I'll send one up to him because he went to buy one and he couldn't get one. So
yeah, I've been to 2 Lidls so far and neither of them have had a Tomahawk. They've only had the Spitfire and the tanks, which has been very disappointing. So I don't know where they've all gone.
I mean, Airfix's Tomahawks in general are just nice kits.
Oh, so nice. Have you seen the 148 scale one? Oh, you want a nice, simple kit that fits well together and has a relatively good level of detail. Yeah, that's the one.
That can't be an Airfix one. It's got to be a Tamiya one, Matt.
Oh no, that's an Airfix one for sure.
Fanboy.
Stephen, I remember now. I did give you that. Yes, I did give you those in. Fair enough, mate. Thank you. Nigel says Tamiya makes some of the worst decals on the planet, and I think you mentioned
they
that
did
when
make a howler on the P40, the 148 P40 for the Flying Tigers one. They put the wrong amount of points on the roundels.
Did they?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. My Tamiya kit had 2 decal sheets stapled together, clipping a roundel. Oh, there we go.
No.
Some Academy decals are bad, Nigel. Yeah.
Oh, they are.
The worst decal I have ever had on a kit was from the Academy. I can't remember if it was the F16 or the F18, but it was so off-keyed that the star inside of the stars and bars was half in the circle, half out. Like, and they thought, okay, we're gonna put that in the kit and we're gonna let that go. Like,
Yeah.
Unusable.
Some of the Academy transfers I've had, they've had like the text, like the fine text you get for stencils and things. They're just black lines. They're just blobs. They're wiggly blobs of decal. And then when I did their helicopter, you had to use, and I'm not even joking, you had to use Tamiya extra thin cement as your setting solution because they would not stick to anything. You have to literally melt them.
On the turnaround, some Academy kits have cartograph decals in them.
But that's the consistency, isn't it? You could buy this Academy kit as your first one and go, oh, that's amazing. It's got good detail. It's got relatively good instructions, and it's got cartograph transfers. Every Academy kit from that point on is going to be like that in your mind. And then you open up the next one, you're like, oh, this is horrendous. It's like me with Revell. The first Revell kit I ever built was their P47. And I'd gone from like the old Airfix P51s and all of those relatively bad kits from back in the day for Airfix, and I open up this P47 from Revell, and I'm like, wow, this is insane. It's got recessed panel lines, it's got moving parts, it's got loads of transfers, it's got armament options. I mean, yes, I know I've heard since that the P47 from Revell isn't necessarily the most accurate of kits dimensionally, but it is mold-wise considerably better than the old Airfix Hurricane, which I'd built previously. But then the next one I go and get is the TA152, which is an old 1960s frog trawler. But there's no way to know what you're getting out of the box. All of a sudden, I've gone from having an amazing kit to having something that most people would probably just throw in the bin after getting the transfers out of it.
Yeah. Mind you, I've done that in the past, though, Matt. I've bought the kit just to get the decals for the scheme.
Yeah, true. It's something you can do, but then that's a cost thing, isn't it?
But you were there when we went on that, when we had the first creator day at Margate, and when Dale said that sometimes the decal sheet costs more than the plastic that's in the box. The whole room went silent, didn't
Oh
we?
yeah,
We were
true.
like,
Yeah,
100%. That's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy when you think that's an option. That's going to happen.
They'd rather spend the money on the decal, getting it right, and they make the decision to go with cartograph
every time.
Yeah.
No, I'll be honest though. Like, I would rather put up with a slight inaccuracy in the mold if it means that the decals are going to not fight me 24/7.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, not always necessarily, but like if it's like little things, I would rather than put the effort and put the money in getting nice decals than worrying about if something is off by 1.5 millimeters.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, transfers can make or break the kit, can't they?
Exactly.
You can have a really badly tooled model, but with amazing transfers, and it will look okay. You can have a really well designed and perfectly molded model, but you put some rubbish transfers on there, it's going to look questionable.
Which is like Flory Models at the moment, because he's building the Blue Thunder helicopter, and he's having, I know it's an old kit, but he's having an absolute mare with the decal sheet. You know, in some bits, there's some bits he's actually going to spray in or look for. He's going to look through his spares box for some decals for it. But because the decals were that bad, he's having to take them off the backing paper and wash them because there's like this, I don't know, like clear, transparent goo on them, and he's having to wash them first, then put them back on the paper. He's fighting that one. I saw it today on his show. So I'm regularly watching Flory at the moment. Some of his stuff's been quite good.
Has he started his seeking?
He hasn't yet, I don't think. No, he's still doing that Blue Thunder. Then I think he'll do that next. I'll see. But just a quick. I thought it was quite interesting. This Moz, what do you and the rest of the panel think of the statement? Why the Gannet? It's not exactly going to have a long sales life.
Why not?
They wouldn't have done it unless they've had enough people ask for it. That's my opinion.
Don't agree with the statement at all. The Gannet is an unusual aircraft, and I think most modelers do get tired of building the same subjects, and that isn't something that's out there so much. And it's a good kit.
Yeah. It is.
Well, it has an amazing wingfold option for a start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contra-rotating props. Or not, as the case may be, because it's 2 engines.
Yeah.
They could shut one down in flight.
Massive.
What was that, Matt?
They could shut one of the engines down in flight to save fuel.
Yeah.
But I think it was interesting when they showed the process that they go through choosing kit on the Maker Day release day. And it's a mix of all these different factors of gap in the market. Does it fit with their existing range? Who else has done one? All of these kinds of things. So if you look at the Gannet, it's a Cold War aircraft, post-war Cold War aircraft, 48 scale. So it fits in with a lot of the other stuff they've done. It is a gap in the market. I mean, how many other Gannets are there around? They've got. It's also research. They've got the research examples to be able to look at. So I think if you take all of that, it starts to add up. And if they make a really good job of it and they get some good reviews in, people talking about, different options and how nice it was, it'll sell, even if I think people don't know it originally. Just like I was excited about the Sea King after the day. I'm not a helicopter person. The Sea King has never really appealed to me as an aircraft before. Yeah, I was excited about this kit. So I think once you take all of that into account, it makes a lot more sense rather than if you just think of it as, well, no one's heard of a Gannet, apart from the British.
That's an excellent point, to be honest, because it's like this comes back to the whole shows thing, doesn't it? Like you go to a show and you see a model kit that's built and you go, wow, what is that? What brand is that? What scale is it? What do I need to build it? It's that sort of motivation and what's the word I'm looking for here? Where something's bigger and you want to do it. It's like you've got aspirations to do it. And I think now we live in a time where we're so fortunate because people watch other modelers do modeling online all the time. And if they see you excited about a model kit and you're enjoying building it, then they're going to go, do you know what? Yes. Like, shameless plug, my P40 video I've just done. The amount of positive comments I've had going, do you know what? I was umming and ahhing about this kit, but yes, I'm going to buy it because you had a fun time. You've done a good job of this. I want this kit because of how much you've enjoyed it. I think what Alex was saying, that's a valid point. You want to do it because other people have enjoyed it.
I think Phil in the chat sort of sums up as well. He said, I don't know the Gannet, but the kit makes me want to buy one. Go figure. And that's true. It's a subject in which if you speak to most modelers about aircraft and give them a time range of which particular aircraft in this period would you like to build, I'm pretty certain the Gannet would not be one of those things that pops up into the first thing that's said. And I think that's where it will do really well, is because it's unusual. It's got a lot of options to it. It looks, I wouldn't say it looks sexy, but it certainly has a distinct look to it, and you don't see them. So I think the subject choice was spot on. And as Alex said, you know, the research, etc., they've done, they've obviously found a gap in the market. And I'll be honest with you, I can't think of another producer that's made a Gannet in that scale. I'm probably wrong.
I
There
don't
probably
think
is one
there
out
is.
there.
Classic airframes.
I think there's one only revealed as in 72nd, I believe. The Gannet, and it's utter rubbish. I have one upstairs and still sitting and waiting for the 48 one.
I bet the first person to build a Gannet and get it up on YouTube, you know, with a good thumbnail, will have hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Just on that flip side, when you actually, you can go and look at the video on on my channel. I think others have done it as well, where you've got Luke explaining the process in which kits they decide to make. And one of the things is how many toolings can they get, or how many variants can they get out of one tooling, which will include making a specific tool to add the extra bits. You know, that Gannet, I reckon there's 4 or 5 different marks, and it's the same with the Spitfire 124. You know, even now, when was it the Meteor they re-released as an Airfix club only model this year?
Yeah,
they created a different
FR9.
sprue to add to the extra variants of it. You know what I mean? Sorry, where's that comment too? The fairy Gannet, the Meryl Streep of the aviation world. You shouldn't be attracted to it, but you are.
Yeah, it's like that airframe in which you got your beer glasses on, and it's very attractive.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Ugly pretty.
Once you start building a regret it.
That's
well,
one.
you know, it's like if Airfix ever did a Bearcat, you know, I'll hold on to that so hard. Whoever pulled me off it would be crowned King of England. You know what I mean? I would never let that go, not the slightest, you know. But yeah, like, you know, as I said, you sometimes there are kits that you wouldn't even dream of building until you've seen it. And people were talking about the Ferret Scout. Now I like the thought of it, and I put it as, you know, number 2 on my list of, or number 3 actually, because, you know, number 1 for me was the Bomb Bug. The release for me from the release day was the Bomb Bug for me, you know, because that's something that I've often had my finger on the trigger to buy for 350 quid off eBay. But then the Gannet, and you had the Ferret Scout, you know. And while I was there at Bovington when they were showing off, there were people who have driven that car in Northern Ireland or wherever they've driven it to, and said it was one of the greatest things they've ever driven, you know, in the forces. And now, because there was no one who's done one, we now have one. And to be fair, it's had the Airfix magic done to it. So it's been designed extremely well. They've given you 2 radio options. They've given you 3 different schemes with history behind the schemes. So, you know, that's going to be a good seller as well. I would love to go in and just see how the pre-orders are, because even now, you know, the Bomb Bug was the best ever, or the most pre-ordered vintage classic they've ever released. So there is a place for these models in the world, most definitely. But I'll race you to get that Gannet finished. In fact,
You have to look at
waiting years.
Katie to see that how well that sold.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll never sell an ambulance, and it sold out.
Yeah. And even so much
with the Gecko one that's still in the bargain basements of most of the model shops.
I'm glad you all think as me. It's not rare run-of-the-mill aircraft model. It's actually because it's going to appeal to many people because it's so rare and unique. I would get it because of that, and it is at mod. Yeah. So
there's definitely something to be said about, you know, sometimes you model kits that are planes that you love, or, you know, vehicles that you love and want, and sometimes it's a matter of, I know nothing about this thing, and I want to learn, and so you learn as you build that, you know.
I've just mentioned that. Yes, Scott, it was the most pre-ordered Airfix. I don't think it's the most pre-ordered Airfix kit ever. It's the most pre-ordered vintage classic kit that's ever been pre-ordered. But will the Rotodyne beat it? I have a Rotodyne up in my loft, okay, and I went to build it. I looked at the sprues, and I promise you, I just put it back in the box. It's upstairs. And if you watch Jonathan Mock's channel, he also said very similar to my thoughts on it. Will be but it probably will be pre-ordered by a lot of people who would like to have a crack at it and will probably do a better job spending the time getting that model to a standard. But when you're like me and you're trying to build content or do content for your channel in a quicker time, because you're having, because building and editing is two separate jobs in itself. Building a model is beautiful. Filming it and editing it is the biggest ball ache you can imagine. All right. So when you're trying to get content out there, that Rotodyne will be a 6 to 8 week build for anyone, if you see where I'm coming from. But also, when I see the Rotodyne come out, that I wish Airfix had that balls in them to do futuristic stuff like they used to do, stuff straight from the drawing board. I wish they went back to that, but they can't, because it's all about risk when it comes to tooling stuff, and I don't think ever retooling a Rotodyne or doing something of that sort of ilk will come back in Airfix.
It would be nice, though, wouldn't it, if they were going to do something like the Tempest project, the 6th generation fighter, which will replace the F-35 and the Eurofighter. That would be a cool thing for Airfix to do.
Yeah, because it's not even flying yet, is it?
No. It's not even pre-prototype stage, isn't it?
But you know what, right? I reckon people are so like that now. See, Airfix could do years ago. Airfix could do a Concorde straight from the drawings, and then ship it out there. And then when the new Concorde came out, which when it actually went flying and it was in service, they built a fresh one. If they did that, then people would be complaining that it's not accurate enough. You know what I mean? Oh, it's just a drawing. We'll wait till the real one comes out, then we'll build that one. That's the attitude I kind of see coming. So I have a question. I have an upcoming build for using zero paints for the first time. Any suggestions for the best airbrush cleaner after using this paint? Zero paints, anyone? I've not heard of them.
Mr. Leveling Thinner.
Is that acrylic lacquer?
No, it's a lacquer. It's a proper lacquer. Mr. Leveling Thinner will be the best one to clean.
Okay, Mr. Leveling Thinner for that, my friend.
Or acetone as well. It works as well.
Wayne Welly, Moz, have you got the 148 Land Rover from the Operation Herrick sets? I have. I did a video on it about 5 days ago. If you want to have a look at it, cracking thing. Wish they would bring that back into the range, but they won't, because they've got a 143 starter set coming out. I see. So I'm hoping they look at some more of the vintage car kits of the back of the Bomb Bug sales. Sadly, a lot of the kits, like the Cortina, the Austin, they were the tools were messed with to create. Was it the Cat series, which was like Americanized sort of like cars that have had bolt-on body kits and stuff? So those don't believe those tooling is available anymore. So, but there may be some. Don't think cars are out of Airfix's vision, because they're doing with the starter sets. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some 1/35 scale cars coming through.
Well, I mean, they've been putting out some cars, right? Like even with the starter sets. If they weren't thinking about doing cars, they wouldn't put cars in starter sets.
Yeah. Quite true. The Morris Marina Austin Maxi would be welcomed. You know what? I saw one of them for sale at an old model show maybe 2 years ago, and he wanted good money for it as well. I think the Escort's still available, because I think Haynes Manuals had it for a while, didn't they? With the Airfix, but they're branded, but it was Airfix molding. They had the Mark 1 Escort, which was the right kit. I wouldn't say it was brilliant. Nigel, I wonder if Dale will send us early samples of the Gannet. Our
That'd be
ratio.
nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking
But-
of things that I know that some people have asked if Airfix would retool, I should have listened and gotten the Airfix old and not this Revel version of this course, the Concord. 'Cause,
Is that the Rebel one? Is it?
yeah, it's the Revel one, and there's not a lot of bite surface on these parts. Like it's like a tiny little parts.
Yeah. Be good to see a 1/35th scale bomb bug. What do you think? All well, I don't think there's not many variants of the bomb bug they can do over the next 10 years with a tooling like that.
No.
Is there? I suppose it was mostly to do with the colour of it, wasn't it? Morley. Some were yellow, some were orange. By the way, I've got my bomb bug t-shirt on tonight. Think of that, eh? Bomb bug.
Look at you.
The Capri, Cortina, and Zodiac, they're all rumoured they doctored the Victor 2. Hope that's not true. I think it's true. I think they were all pretty much ruined. And it was called the Cat series, I believe. K-A-T. Look on Scale Mates, and you'll see what they've done to them. They made them into like custom muscle cars. And so they ruined the tooling on that. Anyways, there was quite a big difference between the prototype Concord and the production version. Yes, there was. I use Mr. Hobby Tool Cleaner or Rapid Thinner Wayne Model Builder. So there's your answer for that one. I think that's it for any other questions. Add them through. It's all good. I've got a couple of auctions tonight if anybody's interested. But we'll do that a bit later. So I've got what like funny cars? Yeah, they were crap cars. So who here has actually pre-ordered the Gannet then?
Yes.
1, 2. Anyone else?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
pre-order.
I've got mine.
Yeah.
Well, I got it as soon as it come out. As soon as they announced it, I ordered it.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? Did you order yours, or are you expecting to get one free at a release date? Like you do with the Spitfire. I was one. I got the 124 Spitfire. Ordered it, got it, and then he didn't buy it because he thought we're going to go to this release day, and he got one for free. Like
Well, it wasn't
That's the channel,
expected.
Matt.
It was anticipated, but not expected. I didn't turn up and be like, come on, sort me out. No, the problem I have is that I look at my stash and I think to myself, I already have loads of stuff.
Yeah.
So I really need to clear out before I build anything else or order anything else, to be brutally honest. So yeah, that's where I stand. Probably won't order a Gannet yet.
Yeah. You're going to wait until you see how good they are and then buy it later, or wait to get given
I'll
one.
see how successful your videos are, and then I'll decide whether I want to jump on.
Hey, don't go there. My video was doing absolutely fine for the Spitfire factory tour. Yours came down and it dropped like a sack of shit. Honestly, I don't get any
Sorry.
views on that video now.
I'm still getting a few.
As soon as you put yours out, that was it. Only because you went and did your own quick build, your mother. Honestly, I tell you. Oh, down it went.
Yeah, well, Moz ruined it by saying, "Oh, is that a bear cat?"
Oh, that was so funny. That ended up on a lot of channels, didn't it, as well? It was rumoured, they're doing a bear cat. Or because it was all mentioned, wasn't it? All a bit of banter in it. The old bear cat. I'm not going to say my answer, Nigel, sorry, but I have got this lightning to send up to you as a starter set for you to have a play with. Let me know how you get on with it. I'll send it up to you probably next week when I take all my other stuff up for selling, for shipping out. So that just goes its own way in scale. Does it really go its own way in scale? I think they've been very good at keeping to the scales that they're good at. Airfix. The 143 range isn't new for Airfix, by the way. They were releasing hella 143 cars in the 2000s, long before they decided to do the starter sets at 143. All this information is all on ScaleMates. If you want to research stuff, ask Alex as well. He is the detective of ScaleMates. When we do our podcast and he sends me, we're going to do this week, and he tells me what he's researched on ScaleMates. It makes you cringe, mate, I tell you. But it is good. It is good. I have to hide my stash from the wife. Yeah.
Oh.
No. Yeah. we'll have a wife then.
Just get divorced. It's much easier.
It's easier.
So-
James, you having to go, mate?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to duck out. I've got to go and do
Yeah,
some
duck
chores
out
and
of
bits
you.
and pieces today. But
Okay.
yeah, I will probably be listening in the background as I'm doing it.
That's a good cause.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Was it
Anyway,
Uzi
nice to
James?
see you all.
Is it? Always a pleasure,
Huh?
mate. And anything I can do for you with the outlaw paints, give me a shout, mate.
I will do, of course. No worries. Thanks for having me on. I'll see you guys all later. Be good.
Yeah, good evening, James.
Bye-bye.
So,
Bye. Nigel's saying here that 143 probably the original scale for model cars. See, you guys who build model cars, what did you have then, Sully? Was that a 132 Triumph or was that a 143?
32.
See, I remember building that kit many moons ago. I didn't think it was too bad.
I'll tell you what, it's quite for its age and everything, it's actually not too bad. There's a nice bit of
Tiny.
detail there. It's really nice. You can see that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is it a shiny plastic though? Because that was the age of the shiny plastic. Wasn't it?
Yeah, relatively. Unfortunately, this will have a tree going out the middle of it when it's finished. So.
Oh, brilliant! Somebody's got one of them, and a bird's nest. Yeah.
Wait to the gannet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
As I said, I think cars are. Oh, look at that! Where'd you get that picture from?
I found it on the internet. That's my reference photo for the gannet.
That's fantastic.
Mine will be the only one like this when they come out.
Okay, guys, we've all got to build that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, mate. If you get it done
Everyone's
the first one, you're going to get hundreds of thousands of views, and you're going to hit your 10,000 subscribers.
No fucking chance. No chance. I can hope, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it comes out.
Definitely.
Can't wait though.
I want to see you build that car out of the Blenheim, Sully.
Oh,
Do you know what? That might not be a bad shout. If I can get a cheap one, I don't mind butchering.
That's my fault.
So's the Sea King.
Yeah.
I'm already looking. Actually, that reminds me, Alex. I'll message you about that. I meant to message you about it today. Actually, I need some chicken. I need some chickens.
Yeah. Some chickens.
I need some chickens now for this one.
You got your
scale chickens. I'm not selling in real chickens.
Will you be selling resin parts that you've made in your shop then, Alex?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah,
I will. Yeah.
I mean, you have at least 3 printers there, right? How many do you have, Alex? C3.
There's 4 resin printers there. There's a couple on the floor that you can't see, and I'm thinking about getting a big one.
I've got a Humber one you could add to your stash.
No, I've got an FDM printer as well, so I don't need a.
I'll tell you what you could do. I'll tell you what you could do. You could have it signed by Moz and have it in a special display case in the shop.
Yeah. You can freely print your own Humber printer as well, like
I've got one of those special display cases. It's like it's about this round. It's about 3 feet deep, black.
Barry minded the garden. I tell you what, it's the best tool I've ever used for putting decals on a large plane. You know what I mean? That 3D printer. You're into your FDM, aren't you, Matt? You've been given some nice tooling recently for the old resin printers, haven't? Well, not resin, is it? It's filament printer.
So I've got 2, which is filament. The Creality Ender 3 S1, and also the Elgu Neptune 3 Plus. Both have their nuances, a little bit different to each other. I quite like the Neptune 3 because it has a bigger build volume, so you can do more stuff. However, filament printers do take a long time compared to resin, because resin does the whole of the bed in one go, every layer, whereas with filament it has to do, each layer one line at a time, which takes forever. Resin, though, is a little bit more nasty, it's a little bit more toxic, and also it takes a little bit more work to clean it up, and you also have to cure the resin using ultraviolet light. But if you want detailed parts, resin is the way forward. If you want functional parts, like things that have hinges and whatever, then filament is the way forward. Some people say that the resin isn't so structurally stable over time. You might get warping or whatever. But for, doing like figures and small detail parts, they're really good. I mean, James from LPJ Model, he's done his own design work. He recently released an aircraft video where he used his resin printer to do loads of extra details which aren't included in the kit. So 3D printing's got massive scope.
Well, that's what I was saying. People are saying about pilots being missing in kits now, but like we were told at one of the I think it was the release of the Spitfire, that actually doing a pilot for a particular plane is one of the most expensive things to do on a model kit, because they can't really design it on the computer. They have to sculpt it, don't they?
Yeah.
Have a sculptor in to actually sculpt it and then shrink it down to the size that they need, and that's expensive.
Yeah, the problem with pilots is that a cockpit, not all cockpits are the same shape or size, but humans are more or less, we're squishy, so we can mold ourselves to fit the cockpit in which you're being pushed into. Whereas a plastic pilot figure, that don't have that luxury. So every single one has to be bespoke. I mean, how many of us have built that relatively old Spitfire now from Airfix? It's that 2010 tooling, and
The Mark 1A.
Yeah, the Mark 1, and had to cut his feet off. You got to cut his feet off because he doesn't fit.
I did it with the Mark 5 one, actually, in the 48. Had to cut the legs off.
Yeah. So
you had to stab the spader in.
Yeah.
So the majority of them at the moment are generic. They just don't fit anything particularly well. And this is the trade-off you've got to make. Oh, his feet don't reach the pedals. I've had to cut them off. His hands aren't on the control column because they don't reach, because guess what? The cockpit wasn't designed for that pilot figure.
That's it.
So
if you looked at the Matchbox ones, they all looked as though they were having a poop.
Yeah. The 3D printing does allow you to kind of get into that. So for the 1/24th scale Spitfire, I got this guy. Where is it? So I had that sculpted and printed it off. So that's Johnny Johnson.
Wow.
Got his Labrador done as well. So it's really good. It's a fair bit to get. I think it was like, how much did it was through Fiverr. So I just went on Fiverr, got commissioned a job. I think it was like $75 or something to get the design done with all the iterations. Now, of course, I'll be selling these in the shop, so I can
you hold the license for that effectively, don't you? So.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my stipulations on Fiverr.
How much are you going to be paying Johnny Johnson's estate?
I shall make a donation.
Good man. Good man. What was it? Who put up a thing? 3D printing has opened up a new frontier of options for the individual modeler. So, yeah. Who said they had an MG? Yeah, the MGB, John. I sanded it from the back, believe it or not, because it is, the flash on the grill is a nightmare. I sanded it from the back, and I was able to get the majority of it off in the end. So, most 1 to 2 scale pilot aircrew figures in older kits look like mummies. Was it you, Matt, who was building a couple of Rebel kits, and basically it was just like mush?
I think it was like the Stearman Cadets. They look like jelly babies.
Yeah.
Also, the way they split them, they often split them sort of front to back. So you've got these two parts that sort of went like this.
Yeah.
And then you got this massive seam line like down their face, and very weird.
Sometimes
kind of
I
made
find
them look flat as well.
They get the sink mark right in their gut as well.
Yeah.
like me on holiday.
Why don't we
Yeah,
do
and
some
sometimes how they mold the hands is just like, are they trying to hold the joystick or some other kind of joystick?
I'm unsure what you're referring to. Please elaborate.
The throttle, obviously.
Ah, right, okay. In the F-16, the throttle was on the left and the control column was on the right because it was a split-stick system, wasn't it? So
Yeah,
they
then the
didn't have
pilot
one
has
in
his
the
hands
middle.
in his lap, and you think, well, what are you doing?
Exactly, he's not holding anything, or is he?
Just,
I don't know.
recent Academy kit, so the Academy F-35, and I think who was it? I think Zvezda did this as well with some of their kits. Actually, have the pilot figure as the body, head, and legs molded with separate arms, and they actually provide different versions, like holding the control column or not, which was quite a nice touch. So you can, if you're doing it just open cockpit display, there's a control column, and then if you're doing it with a pilot in, there's a control column with the arm attached, if you like. So that's pretty nice to see.
Did you see
Tanya
what
did
Beacon
something
Models have
similar
done?
with.
Sorry, you go.
I was just saying that Tamiya 132nd, they did something similar with theirs. That was all.
All right, Beacon Models, they've for their 1/44th scale, Spitfire and 109. So they've got their internal cockpit area, but then the pilot figure they released is just a standing figure. So they then released a pilot sat in the chair as an extra 3D printable part. I think you can buy the 3D file from their website. I know I got some already printed as part of an early access bonus. But yeah, so you just glue what you would just normally glue the chair in. It's already got a pilot sat in it. So it's already molded to fit.
That's a neat idea.
That sounds cool.
I love that supersized one you did, Matt.
Oh yeah, that one's massive.
That was amazing. That was.
It's like a foot tall. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. He's just standing on my shelf. I might just leave him beside my shelf. Probably should paint him at some point.
A nice
I might
garden
not do
ornament.
that as a video though.
John Parker said that John Parker's just said here that Heller never made pilots for anything for that cost reason. See, the thing about the pilot, I made this bit of a debate, right, on a channel, and Becker's models. I use the analogy that when you go to scale model shows, you don't see pilots in the planes; they're mostly grounded, etc. And I said, and it's the same with cars. You don't have a lot. There's not many cars come with a figure.
I've never
And he
seen
came
one.
back totally different because cars are, on the ground, and you can have them wherever you want. You don't need a figure for a car. But when you want to go to air, you do. Well, my argument to that is well, flip that around, because most of the planes I see in the air are built in a diorama, and that diorama is hiding the stand of that plane being in the air. And it's the same with cars. If you want a car to be on a diorama that's taken a corner, it's going to have a driver in that car to make that diorama. So if you want that, you have to go and find yourself a driver that you can, buy, and that's my argument to it. I don't think pilots will be missed as much in planes as they were missed as when we missed the stands. People have missed the stands more, I guess, when there is a pilot in there. But if you've removed those two things and saving probably £2 or £3 on a kit, I don't know. I think it's a good debate to have. Pilots in, pilots out. Driver in, driver out.
And I think the difference is that, right, like, people at this point are used to it. Like, there's been more time for it to just be solidified as a just a convention of the hobby. And so if you take it away, it's been there for so long, it feels like a step backwards, as opposed to stands, which never were always part of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah.
But on the other flip side is that what's the one thing that you hate to see in a cockpit is a pilot, because you can't see all the detail inside.
That's
It
why
hides so much of it, doesn't it?
I'll show you how much I miss pilots, guys.
Hey.
This is
Wow.
my spares. We've got pilots that are collected.
Pilots.
Yeah, you don't really use pilots then at all in any of your builds. No.
Pilot graveyard.
I'll
Send
take
them
them
to
all.
Lexi. Oh, Matt.
I'll have half. You can send the other half to Lexi. I am
Yeah.
I'm so enjoying having flying models. How good does a flying model look in a thumbnail?
Yeah.
It just looks right, doesn't it? I mean, that's where it's supposed to be. That P40, shameless plug, that I did in the thumbnail, it flying. That Spitfire I did with it, and it's banking at an angle. Oh yeah, you can get underneath it. You can get those money shots. I love it.
But
When they look like that,
That's true. You can put it like that.
I
Yep.
mean,
True. Right, should we do an auction then, folks? Should we do an auction?
Yeah. Come on, bring it on, man.
I'm going to sell my my Vallejo collection tonight. Right, so this is it. This is the Vallejo collection in a case. Inside there is loads of paint. What was it? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78,
Oh,
84 model air paints. In there is also there's a bottle of plastic putty, the matte varnish, but I think I only ever used 2 of these just for testers. So all of them are pretty sealed, never been used. And with that's the main auction is that. But I'm also going to just throw in, I've got about 20 model colors that I have used, but I'm never going to use them again. So there's 20 of them as well. So over 100 paints. Some are, fuller than others on those ones. But I thought we'll auction them off tonight because I said I'm a Tamiya man anyway. So I've been, most of my paints are Tamiya until I get the full collection of what's it called, outlaw paints at some point when they come into the country. So I'm going to give it. There's going to be 5 postage on top. It's quite a heavy set to send. So if you fancy putting a bid in on that for my camera fund, which I'm up to £500 now.
Oh, nice.
So
That's all good.
I'm getting there slowly.
I'll start you off at 100, Moss.
Oh,
£100.
I was going to start off at 75.
£100. Hang on a minute, I can't
Over
find
100 paints, you got to go at least £1 of paint, right?
Nigel's just got them out.
Right, timer. We need 2-minute timer on this one. 2 minutes starting now. So 2 minutes on the clock for this paint range. So at the moment we've got £100. If you want to put that in the chat, Alex, well then I can.
I've just got to reach the laptop now.
Got to reach the laptop. So £100 on that one. I think I paid nigh on 200 quid for it or 220 quid, including postage from eBay. When it first came out, so it's like a whole set of Vallejo. I think I've used 1 or 2 very slightly, but the rest I've not opened. They're all I've shook them all. They're all loose. So so that's where we're at with that one. I've got some models as well, which we'll put through. I've got a Tamiya kit as well, which I'm going to sell tonight as well. So
£100 and a load of pilots, Moss.
£100 and a load of pilots, yeah. Oh, Nigel just said, what, 35 quid for your answer? I can't sell it, mate. I really can't. I've got to get on and build that. Oh, honestly, it's...
Well, I gotta check what that is in USD.
Remember, it's £5 on top for postage because it's quite a heavy box. I think it's over 2 kilos. Yeah, it must be 4 or 5 kilo. That's what I tell the wife anyway. So, yeah, 4 or 5. But yeah, model Vallejo because you just have to shake that paint well before use. Then there is nothing wrong with it. I still thin it down a little bit when I use that model there. The trouble is, I put it in my drawer, I never used it, and then I started using Tamiya, and I never got back. How much for the speaking was? £1,500 if you want that Sea King.
Yeah,
£1,500 for that Sea King.
that gets him his camera.
That gets me my camera, definitely. The case as well. The case is quite nice, actually.
Yeah, I, like honestly, that case in and of itself half makes me want to bid. But if I were to bid, I would not be allowed to join Airfix and chill ever again. Mostly because nobody would find the body.
Well, there you go.
What a note to go out on.
There you go, Alex. That's all yours, mate, for £100. Well done, mate. £100 for that one. So Alex has won the paints. 100 paints, £1 a pot.
Really, nobody else bid?
Nobody else bid on that one.
Yeah, to be fair,
You post them straight out.
Sorry about that. That was me.
Yeah. So, right, here we go then. This time, we've got this one here. Let me just, where do I press that button there, don't I? So this time we've bidding on the M36B2 Battle of the Bulge here from Airfix. I presume it's a Korean kit.
Yeah.
Where does it say? Manufactured by Hornby Hobbies. Made in Korea. So it's made in Korea, this one. Don't know how much they cost online. I don't believe I did a review on this one, so I think the bags are all still sealed. Yeah, all the bags are still sealed in this one. You get your little bit of photo etch as well, and your decals. Okay, in this one, nice instruction. Yeah, it's all sealed. This kit, all sealed for this one. We'll start it off again. There you go.
45. Started at 45.
This is 2 minutes. This one on this one, so we'll start on 2 minutes because we're quick fight because we're a bit behind. So 2 minutes on that one. Right, who's put a bid in for that one then? Put a bid on.
Started at 45.
£45 plus postage, right? I put more than mid 45. I'm putting 45 on for. I don't know why I did that.
45.
Put it on. It's 45, but it's not me. It's Fenris, all right? It's 45 for Fenris.
Yeah. Oh, you're.
I don't know why it won't
yourself?
let me post under my name anymore.
I don't know why that is now. And you're an admin, aren't you, to this one? So
yeah.
So we've got 45. We've got 1 minute 25 seconds on. You have to watch the clock, I'm afraid. Sorry. Aussie Scale Modeler is paying £45.50 for that one. £45.50 from Aussie Scale Modeler.
Oh wow!
Cool. Remember, if you're abroad, I'll contact you about the price of postage to wherever. So we've got £45 so far. John Parker, next week I'm going to offer for you because some tracks, Mozzie. Brilliant. Appreciate that, my friend. Now, I'm not bidding against myself. What it is, I needed an extra moderator on this channel. And so I added Fenris to keep an eye on the chat for me. So when he posts, it comes under my name for some reason. I don't know.
Like right here, that 50 is me.
Yeah. So, oh, hey, you got 50 up now. Look at that. Wait, up with 50.
Why did it? But now it's showing me again.
It's showing you again. It's bizarre, isn't it? Right, 25 seconds on the clock. 25 seconds on the clock. Nigel, I think Jason sent you some paints, mate. So hopefully you'll be able to do a review on your channel. 12 seconds left. 12 seconds. Got a bid now.
And don't forget there's a bit of a delay.
There's a delay. So Fenris has got that one for £50. £50 Fenris.
Well done, Fenris.
My friend. We'll get in contact about payment for postage.
We need the countdown music, Moss.
Yeah. Countdown music, definitely. Right, so let's. I'll put up. Right, sorry, I'll put up for 3 minutes. Right, next this one. 3 minutes for this one. All right. Stop. Right, clock. Right. So,
good one.
Mr. Craft SU85 with crew. This one is. This one's Mr. Craft. Mini art, not Mr. Craft. What am I saying? It ain't fucking Mr. Craft. I wouldn't even sell that on here, Mr. Craft. So there you go. SU85 with crew, which is sealed. All inside is sealed. I got given it to build maybe about 3 years ago now. So everything's all in its bag here. Everything. There you go. There's decals there, mini art decals. But yeah, this is apparently it's a lovely little kit. Comes with all the figures as well. And we're going to start the bidding at £35. Thank you for that one. So we'll start now. 2 minutes on these ones because we're quite late tonight. So we want to finish by 10 o'clock. So this one here, got Man's Wonder Moments at 35 for that one.
Might turn us into a bear cat if we haven't finished by 10 o'clock.
Yeah. No, it's not fair, is it? You know, you people have been on here for a while. So, yeah, Mr. Craft now, that would be a hard pass. Yeah, definitely. Dominic's £38 for that one, which is cool. Oh, if you're outside of the country, I'll have to contact you for postage. Oh, Fenris has gone for £40 on that
Right on,
one.
Fenris.
£40 for Fenris.
Pipped me at the post.
Pipped him.
Wahaha.
And none of this £51 on top. None of that. It's got to be a decent bid.
The whole number.
41.01.
How much that goes for? 36 for the answer. I'm not telling the answer. On. SU-85 with crew.
It looks very nice.
It's a very nice kit. Very nice kit indeed. Right, 50 seconds. Remember, there's a 7-second delay.
That's not even
if you want to bid high, you want to bid about the 10-second mark, all right?
Kind of a throwback to what we were talking about earlier. That's not at all the type of thing I usually build. So
Yeah, me neither.
So
I thought it might be interesting.
Which is all good. There we go. Right, 27 seconds left. I'll just get on the Jason. Thanks again for all the goodies you sent along. I will send you photos when I start the model. Thank you again. Grind scale model. Good luck getting the camera. I'm trying to get it, mate. I was hoping to get it, but it's just, that Anson. It's still in stock though on Airfix, isn't it? It's in stock. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Right, Fenris, you've won that one as well, my friend.
Oh, wow.
A lovely mini art.
That looks a nice kit, Fenris.
It is an all right kit. So, I didn't want to get rid of this one because I'm hoping for some really good auction, some good prices on this one. This is something I've had for years. It's still sealed. Okay. I don't think you can buy it now. Okay, it's a very old kit, but I'm going to give up my Gus Grissom Memorial combo, and it comes with extra patches. Monogram, it's still factory sealed. I've had this for years and years and years. I'm willing to give it up for an auction. So, somebody wants to, it's for a collector, I guess, unless they would open it and have a look at it.
Wish I knew.
So, okay, I know, innit? So we'll start the bidding. I'll do this one for 3 minutes again. We'll start the bid in 3 minutes. So as I said, there is a couple of holes in the seal. Maybe it hasn't got a couple of holes. Maybe it's still. I thought I felt some holes in it. But I've had this for years and years and years. I was going to build it and take the patches out. This is where I got the idea from for having the Moz patches. Okay, so. As I say, it's still a sealed kit. I don't know, they must be worth a few bob on eBay because it's a sealed kit. I can't remember what the year it was. I think it was 1970. No, this is 1999. So it's 23-year-old, this kit, 24-year-old with the patches. So anyone wants to put a bid on, let me know. So no bids at the moment. No bids on that one. Oh, man's putting a 30 bid. Brilliant. Man put a 30 bid in. Remember, those in the chat can bid as well. Just a $5 for postage. If you're in the UK, if you're outside the UK, I'll contact you. But normally it's around. If you're in America, it's normally about $25, $30 to get stuff sent out. I try and use the cheapest I can. All right, to do it. The bigger kits, I think anything over medium parcel gets really silly prices. So, but man's going to 30 so far. I was going to say a $5. He's not went more than a $5. Surely it's going to go $5. Matt, are you interested in that one, Matt?
It's a very rare kit.
It is a rare kit. I've had it I've had it for absolute years. I think I paid good money for it as well on an auction. It was, I've not, as I said, I've not seen, as I say, it's still sealed. I've had it for absolute donkey's years. I saw it up in the attic and I thought, well, it's going to go to anyone. Let somebody who watches this channel have the pleasure of owning it at least. So
I'd love to transfer the 45 from the Sherman to this. And
right, Michael Kerr's put £35 is his bid for this one.
Oh, nice.
£35, very nice. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
35, which is good. Thank you very much. Obviously, what I do is I send you email me once you've won the bid. You email me, and I'll send you a link to PayPal, and then you just pay PayPal. You don't need to even have a PayPal account.
All very smooth.
So it's easily done. So at the moment, we've got 25 seconds left on this one. Michael Kerr's got the bid at the moment, which is cool. Anyone in the chat can also bid on this one if you like. Be good. Oh, God. Nigel, talk to me after about the answer, all right?
All right.
I know damn well I'll say I'll have to buy another one in a year's time or something. But yeah, so what are we up to? Oh, the camera's got 1 second gone. So brilliant. Michael Kerr's won that one at £35 with £5 postage. Give me a shout. Give me a shout. Right. This was auctioned and the people never paid me for it, so I'm going to auction it again. It is the 172 scale Westland Sea King HAR3 Mark 43, and if you can see plastic, he's building this kit at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
Nuno,
if anybody wants to,
No.
Oh,
You should have put your thumb over the scale, boss, and said you're going to auction the Sea King.
no, we're not going to auction the 172. This one, 172, not the 148, because
hopefully Moss will get confused and send the wrong one out.
Send the wrong one out, yeah.
oh,
I think Dale will kill me if I did that. So if anybody wants to bid on this one, Sea King, but unfortunately somebody bid on it and then didn't pay for it. So, anyways, so I said I'll redo it. I've got one more kit after this as well. I've got a Tamiya to sell as well. So yeah, anyone for anyone want to see Western Sea King 172? Little bit of what do they call it? A bit of info. When Chris designed the new Westland Sea King, he was thinking about this here. He was unsure if he got him right because on this kit he had to do it from pictures, but he was that chuffed he got it in such a good. He got it almost spot on for the 148. So very happy with this. So anybody want a Western Sea King? Sprue and glue. If you want to put a bid on, you can put a bid on me. I can wait 3 weeks, mate. If you want to put a bid on that one, I can wait 3 weeks. I waited a month for this and they didn't pay. So what's 3 weeks? And I'm more likely you're going to pay. You know what I mean? So, so Western Sea King. Any takers? 1 minute 35 left on the clock. Nobody want to have a play? Nobody want to put a cheeky tenner on? I don't. How much are these now in the shop? 20 quid?
About, yeah.
Oh, Ryan's £15 for Ryan. Are you going to pay this time, Ryan? Ryan bought the M262 off me.
Oh, nice.
He's also building it at the moment. He said
Very
he's going to send me some pictures.
That's about what it is here in the States. It's about $22. So that exchange rate, £15. That's about $22. Yep.
Cool. Brilliant. So Ryan's got 15 quid on that one. I said it'd be $5 postage on top. 46 seconds left, and then we'll go on to the last kit of the night, and that will take us up to 2 hours then. These are good fun, aren't they? No, it's not. Was it from Game? No, it wasn't from Game, mate, because I didn't buy that one off Game. We did crash the website, though. We were blocked, weren't we, Alex, from buying off Game?
I got around it, though. I used another computer.
It's Sprue and Glue with UK mods. I will bid 20. Oh, bless you, mate. 20 quid then. There you go.
Nice.
That's a nice gesture. Thank you very much. Aussie Scale Modeler. I have said to him, Jason, when you get your paints over here, I will definitely be sending them up some, so you're going to try them out, Sprue and Glue. So there you go, £20 there for that one. Brilliant, there you go. That's Aussie Scale Modeler for Sprue and Glue. Thank you very much. That's impressive. Thank you so much. Then the final one tonight. The final one. Oh, shut up, camera. The final one is this Porsche 959 from Tamiya. There you go. Still sealed in its box. There you go. Very, very nice.
Don't do that.
There you go. What do you mean don't do that?
Don't do that. Don't bring cars to the game. Come on.
I could have to, mate. Gotta go.
Don't do
By
that.
them.
Nice kit.
The Porsche 959 up for grabs.
As featured on Beyond the Box.
As featured on Beyond the Box, yes. I bought it and decided I'm not going to build it.
That would be amazing with outlaw paint.
Yeah. It would be. So a Porsche 959. Anybody interested in a Porsche 959? Oh, we got some bids already. Got Dominic at 15 at that one. £15 for that one. That's good.
That's what it is here in the States. £15 worth.
Yeah. That's good. So Porsche 959. If you want me to sign the boxes, I'll sign the boxes as well. That's
Hey,
Why would you ruin the box?
You were supposed to sign my Vulcan, and you didn't. I'm upset.
I am so sorry about that. I'm so just you have to buy another kit.
Hey, you bought me a wallet, man.
I should have signed that
We're all
wallet.
square.
So at the moment, Wayne Welly's got this for £20 with £5 postage.
I want you to sign each of the paints.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
So Wayne Welly's got this for 20 at the moment, £20 for a Porsche 959. If I'm right, this is quite an oldish tulip, but they only released it a couple of times. So it's actually very crisp inside, and you can do the silver or the red. It's a lovely looking kit.
It's a well-reviewed kit. I mean,
yeah,
they build that and they love it.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Every time we do an episode of Beyond the Box and we find some nice kits, Moss ends up buying them.
Yeah. No signed kit. Oh, free kit to be sent out then, Moz. So you want me to sign the kit or don't sign the kit? There you go. So there's the Porsche 959.
Sweet. It's a beautiful car too.
Yeah. 1 minute 12 on the clock for that one. 1 minute 12. So keeping it going. So we got £20 off Wayne Welly. I'd also, when I do, I also chuck in some stickers and a zine as well. If you want me to sign, the box, just when you email me, all the winners tonight, if they email me, I will then sort out shipping and get that sent out to you. If you don't sign the kit, you have to gift the kit. Right then, 43 seconds left. £20 for Wayne Welly. I think he's got this one. To be fair, he's got a good bargain here.
Yeah, good price for that.
So it's a good price. Nobody bid on this as I won it at 20, so nobody bid for Wayne. So, but yeah, it's you know, I was really I might even do the tanks next week as well. I might get rid of those tanks. I don't think I'm going to build them. I bought them
Tiger in there.
mystery box. So yeah. So 10 seconds left on this one. £20 for Wayne Welly. Good man, I believe he's got this one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wayne Welly. Wayne Welly is the winner of the Porsche 9.
Well done, Lord Bismarck.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. That's brilliant. So if you could email me, which I've done it. Go across. Where's me thing? Yeah. So all the winners, could you email me? If you're abroad, I'll contact you once you've emailed me your address. I'll let you know how much it's going to cost postage wise to get them sent out to you. Alex, of course, I will just meet up with you and give it to you. I need to come to your shop anyway, just for the crack. I might make. I've got a Wednesday.
If you're going to be at the show, I'll probably be there as well. So
what at the not North Devon? It will be the next one after that. I'll be September, I think. Is the next one. When's the tank one again?
That's September.
Is that September? The tank was. It'll probably be a tank then. Tank was going to that one. So, but that's it, folks. Yeah, if you email me and I'll send you a PayPal link, put it in the PayPal. Can you do friends and family because PayPal take extortionate fees sometimes for this. And anyone who's outside the UK, I say $5 for if you're in the UK. Outside the UK, I will contact you with pricing because it varies very much. So, anyways, and I think that's about it for Airfix and Chill tonight. I hope you've had a really good time with us on a Tuesday. We will be back on Monday of next week. But I'm really chuffed. We had 140 in the chat listening to us, raging on about how wonderful Airfix, Tamia, Ravel, Hella, Mr. Kraft are. That's great. Again, I want to thank James Taboli Go, James Bond Officer, John Alex Scale Modeling, Sully, Matt from Model Minutes, Alex, Nunu from Plastic Alchemist, and of course our good friend Fenris abroad as well. Are you working or are you finished work now?
Technically on the clock, but
Brilliant.
watching the email strictly.
Excellent.
Does he work at all?
And thank you all to the new members of the chat, new members of the channel. If you want to contact me, members, you have free reign. My email address is in the box. If you want to contact me, ask me any questions, channel members have that privilege. Anyways, see you all next Monday. Have a great week, you all. Thank you so much, all. Take care. And goodbye.
See you guys. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.